All right, well, here's something that you may or may not find interesting or funny.
Okay.
As you know, we've spoken here on the show about the behavioral habits, mostly of millennials.
Yes.
So a school attempted to give their student body, their young adults, some pointers as to how to conduct themselves in public properly.
Okay, this ought to be good.
And they were taken to task by the offended parents of these kids who felt that the school had overstepped their boundaries.
Okay.
And you kind of make the decision here. You kind of be the judge.
Okay.
I actually laughed about this story when I read it. And it kind of goes back to, what do you want to call, old-fashioned values, I guess.
All right.
And in this day and age, I guess old-fashioned values have no place anymore.
No.
So what was commonplace 20, maybe even 30 years ago is not so much accepted today.
That's going to start making a comeback in about 6 days.
Yes. So this story in general, I thought you would have a field day with.
All right.
All right. High school students are infamous for sexist dress codes.
You're kidding.
Constrictive prom rules. And other lessons in outdated bias. That's the key right there. Outdated bias.
Okay.
But this latest example takes the cake. In Utah, what do you know about Utah? Anything?
Mormons.
Yeah, very Mormon. Very Mormon, established religious, kind of conservative.
Yeah.
Values, okay? 11th graders were given an assignment to go on a $5 date.
$5 date?
Yes. After consulting handouts with separate tips for boys and girls.
Okay.
Created by and for each other. So these tips on a date were created by the boys, and they were created by the girls.
Well, hold on. Let me get a pen so I can figure this out for myself here. For, $5 date. That sounds fucking happening to me.
Well, I mean, if you're 16 years old, how much?
I don't care. Dude, $5, that will buy nothing.
I agree. But again, this is, as the premise stated, that this is an outdated...
all right.
How did they say this? This was an outdated premise, I guess. But, okay, how much does a 16-year-old today have to spend on a date?
Seriously?
Seriously.
$25, $30.
25 or $30, okay. Well, if this old guideline was published 20 or 30 years ago, would $5 be reasonable or not?
No.
Not even 30 years ago?
Not when I was a kid. $5? Fuck that. We needed $5 just to put in the gas tank.
All right. $20?
Yeah. 20 would have been about right.
All right. I'm just asking the question.
Sure.
All right. Let's see here. These tips were created for boys and girls, created by and each other. Suggestions for the young women: be feminine, eat the food that you order,
okay,
don't waste his money, Don't fish for compliments. Show respect for him. And if you think you're too fat, keep it to yourself.
Don't go. All right. And that's bad?
Well, yes. According to this article, this is a bad thing.
Let me guess. Why would you tell people that they can't be as big or as small as they want to be? You know, why would you make a statement about their weight? Why should they succumb to what he wants?
Well, you forgot the popular term today.
What?
Body shaming.
Body shaming. Fuck off.
You forgot about that.
Did I? Or did I just ignore it because it's too stupid to handle?
Well, you got to throw that vernacular in there.
All right. All right. So we're talking body shaming is a problem here?
Yes, it's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you think you're too fat, you need to keep it to yourself.
Why?
Well, you don't want to point a spotlight on that.
Why? It's pointed on yourself.
Well, true, but you don't want somebody to go, yeah, you are kind of fat.
Why? If you're fat, you're fat.
I know.
I'm fat. You know, I'm fat. What's the fucking problem?
Well, for chicks.
If they're fat, they're fat.
That's an issue, though. For girls, that's an issue.
Why?
It could cause you to commit suicide on Facebook.
Then fucking eat a salad, you bitch, and don't be eating at the Burger King in the first fucking place.
Right.
Of course, you can't afford the salad for $5.
Right. Well, if you look at the chat room, AR Rocks has it on there, 5 for $4.
Yeah, well, none of that is healthy.
You got fries, you got a Junior Whopper, and you got 4 McNuggets and a Coke for $4.
Yeah, but unfortunately, then you're going to be fat shamed if you eat that shit.
Exactly.
So it's lose-lose.
Exactly. Highland High School in Salt Lake City rescheduled the assignment after the mom of a young woman
of course
in the class posted the assignment to
Facebook.
Exactly. Where it received 1,800 reactions.
Oh, and they were all the red face ones, I'll bet.
Yes.
The angry red face.
Yes. It has been shared more than 1,900 times and has sparked a firestorm.
Yeah.
Thanks for educating our kids, Utah Department of Education. Jen Oxbrow had written in her post, according to the Salt Lake City Tribune.
Right.
We really appreciate your evidence-based misogyny.
Right.
Yahoo Beauty was unable to reach the school administration, but according to the newspaper, the assignment was part of a state-required adult roles and financial literacy class. I didn't even know there was such a thing.
Heard of that.
With handouts and written by the teacher, but grabbed from a database of state-approved materials, said the principal, Chris Jensen.
Okay.
She is just mortified.
Right.
Mortified.
Mm-hmm.
Jensen said that the unidentified teacher, she wanted it to be a lighthearted lesson and in social norms. Mark Peterson, spokesman for the Utah Board of Education, told the Tribune that the materials in question were being removed from the database.
Right.
They are inappropriate, he said, and we're taking them down.
Yeah, pal.
Social media criticism of the assignment has been fierce.
Fierce.
It's been fierce.
Yeah.
Because you people just don't know how to act right. Some of the Twitter feeds. The 11th grade honor student at Highland High School in Salt Lake City was given this assignment to go on a date. It was given to students at Highland High School. Teach skills like managing time and money, establishing credit.
This is so stupid.
I know, it's dumb.
Who the fuck goes on a date to manage their credit?
This looks like this was something that was left over from the 60s.
Shut up.
The 60s.
She needs to shut up.
You guys are so out of date and out of touch.
Yeah, okay.
You fucking suck, man.
Yeah. Yeah, you should teach your kid that they don't have to deal with any kind of adversity ever.
Right.
That fucking more in touch way to do it, you fucking jizzbag. Shut up.
So here's the liberals chiming in.
Of course.
I appreciate basic manners that are being taught, but essential life skills aren't. What about the LGBTQ students?
Yeah! They should be taught that they could go out and spend $5 dick to dick.
Right.
Vag to vag.
Right. Jesus. They should be taught docking skills.
Yeah, docking skills. I don't know that I somehow I don't think the school was trying to do that.
You don't get that reference, you need to go look it up.
All right.
Here's another one. If my daughter gets this assignment, I will just lose it.
Oh, will ya?
I'll lose it.
Will ya? Fucking idiot.
This is simply not okay.
Yeah.
Connecticut-based psychologist Barbara Greensberg, who specializes in adolescent and teens, tells Yahoo Beauty it's so unbelievably gender biased and it puts us back in time.
Oh, no.
That's a horrible thing.
How dare you?
It's especially problematic, she says, considering it's heterosexual as assumptions and also the fact that, according to recent data, 50% of millennials consider gender to be a spectrum.
A what?
A spectrum.
A spectrum?
Yeah. You can't look down at your pants and go, I got a wee-wee, so I'm a man.
Well, if you're saying wee-wee, you're not a man anyway, but...
I'm trying to put it in child talk here.
All right.
But my point is that people think they could choose their gender.
Yeah, well, they do think that.
I know that, but my point is that there are psychologists out there who are agreeing with that premise.
Oh, yeah.
That it's just like, well, I might have a vagina or I might have a cock, but, that's non-consequential. I don't feel like I'm a man today, or I'm a male, or I'm a female today.
Dude, is there not a part of you anymore that actually wants to go live in a less quote-unquote civilized country?
I mean, it's ridiculous.
They don't accept this anywhere else. They don't.
Who goes, well, I was born male, but I'm not feeling male, so I guess I'm not male, even though I have male genitalia that says that I'm male, but you know what? I don't feel like that today.
Yeah, that's I just feel like I'm trapped in this body.
Right.
Yeah, I'm trapped. My true inside femininity needs to be unleashed. Ugh, speaking of that, and this has nothing to do with it, sort of does, but did you happen to listen to Talk to Me this week?
I did not.
He interviewed Keith Caputo from...
Yeah, he was transgender.
Oh, boy. I'm going to bring that to the show. Not next week when you come back for some transcription And I'm not going to be, not to slam on Josh at all, but wow. That fucking fella had some crazy shit to say.
Oh, I'm sure.
I mean, his take on why people will not support transgender is fucking unbelievable.
Okay.
His basic premise is that if you say you're against trannies, then that really means that you just want to fuck the trannies.
Is that what that means?
That's what he said.
Okay.
He said that if you have something to say about him being a tranny, it's because you really want to fuck him.
All right.
Fucking crazy talk.
I guess. Well, anyway, going back to this psychologist, her point of view is that this dating exercise focuses in on heterosexual people.
Right.
And millennials today, they don't look at themselves as heterosexual. They look at themselves as fluid sexual, whatever that means, to where today I'm male, maybe tomorrow I'm female, whatever I'm feeling today. That's what I am.
Right.
That's ridiculous.
It's stupid.
How come this problem was never an issue when you and I were growing up?
Because if we would have come out and said, well, I'm feeling like a chick today, we would have gotten fucking beaten back into feeling like a dude.
Right.
That's why. You couldn't have got away with this shit.
That's ridiculous. I never knew anyone in my years of growing up or going to high school or whatever where somebody said, well, I'm kind of confused about what I am today.
No, of course not. You know why? Because it was not accepted.
That wasn't an issue.
Yeah. It should still not be. Basically, they're saying you can fucking pretend to be whatever you want. And we're going to accept it. We're not going to say, suck it up, Buttercup. You're a fucking guy. And that's what needs to happen. You know, this fucking weakness is sickening. It really is sickening. You know, I am flabbergasted that this has gotten as far as it is. I can't believe it. I honestly can't believe that this is the fucking world we live in today.
I agree.
And I don't give a fuck. You want to be gay, but just admit that you're fucking gay.
Right.
You know, if you're a guy and you fucking crave cock, then go get it. You don't need to fucking cut your dick off. Even if you cut your dick off, that still makes you gay. It makes you gay without a dick.
Right.
You still got the fucking chromosomes in your system that make you a dude, you fucking idiots.
Sure.
Fucking hate this fucking generation.
I agree. It's a point Osbrow also raised. If you're trying to figure out where you stand with your gender identity,
and then fucking feel between your pants.
Where you stand with it.
If you feel something that starts hardening up, guy. If you feel a fucking hole that's full of fluid, chick.
Right.
There. Feel that.
And then you get an assignment like this, it puts our kids at risk.
At risk?
She told the Tribune. Our teachers and our principals have acknowledged some of this and teach in an insensitive, evidence-based way, and they're not.
I don't even feel, I feel bad for the kids, honestly, but I feel hatred toward my generation.
Right.
You know, because these parents, these kids are 16 years old, 15 years old, right?
Yeah.
So these parents are 38 to 35 to 50.
Sure.
What do you say? The fuck happened to our generation? To where is the dads to say, fucking wake up, shithead. Stop making your life harder than it has to be. Not even a thing about fucking who you want to fuck. Because that's really what... First of all, why are kids this age being given any kind of fucking freedom to openly fucking declare who and what they're going to start fucking at 14 years old, at 15 years old? Dude, what would have happened to you if you came home and told your mom that you were going to try and bang your neighbor?
Trust me, that would not have gone very far.
You would have got the shit knocked out of you.
Of course.
Just for mentioning it. Anytime, dude, the first time, did you ever, I don't remember, did you get any when you were in high school or not?
No.
No, okay. I did. And I can tell you for a fact, when I was getting it when I was 14 years old or whatever, when I was trading pot for that shit, my dad would have killed me more for fucking banging the chicks than smoking the pot. Because they did not want to hear any fucking... They did not want to hear that I was actually thinking about fucking. You know, that was just a taboo at that age. And now, these guys are just fucking outwardly saying it. You know, they're out there saying, well, I may be a guy, but I want to do whatever it takes to fuck other guys. Because that's what transgender is. That's what gayness is, right? I mean, in the end, that's what it is.
Well, I remember when I was a teenager and my older sister was dating.
Mm-hmm.
And she was basically lamenting in the kitchen with my mother and one of my mother's friends.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, I don't know why this guy likes me, and I don't know what he finds interesting in me, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
And I spouted out, he just wants a piece.
Okay.
And the horror.
Oh, yeah.
The look of horror I will never forget, that my mother and my mother's friend just looked at me just like, what did you say?
And how old were you?
I was 14.
Right. And did you get a crack?
Almost. I didn't get punished for it, but the look of horror was just like, I can't believe you just said that.
Yeah. How dare you think that about your sister?
Right.
Yeah, of course.
But I remember that like that happened yesterday.
Sure. Absolutely. Dude, if I would have said that, my dad would have fucking whacked me across the back of my head.
What's the matter with you? Why would you say such a thing?
Yeah. Why are you thinking like that would have been what I would have heard.
Right.
Why are you thinking like that? You know, now it's like, hey, whatever. I'm going to do whatever I can so I can suck dick and feel good about it. That's really what it is.
I agree.
I mean, what else is this? Is sexual orientation. It's determining who you're going to fuck. Right? Does it mean anything other than that? If you really break it down, does it mean anything other than who am I going to fuck?
I would say probably 80% of that. The other 20% I'm going to say is how can I act out who I think that I am? And I brought this up on the show many times, and I've said this with Bob Nalbandian on our show.
Mm-hmm.
I see these guys, and you know, when I go out to L.A. or something, and we've gone out to these restaurants, I always mention these swishy guys.
Sure.
These guys who are acting out.
Right.
In a very effeminate way.
Okay.
So I'm going to say that's the 20% part.
Okay.
That they can act out in a very effeminate way.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only part I got. The 80% I'm going to agree with you about who I'm going to fuck. I'm attracted to guys. I'm attracted to sucking dick.
But don't you think that even those swishy guys, the other that 20%, the reason they're acting out is to fit in with another group that's exactly like them?
Perhaps.
For the reason of fucking them.
Exactly.
So it's all about fucking.
It is. I agree.
I just can't imagine when I was 14 years old having any kind of a open conversation with a parent about who I wanted to fuck. Hell, I can't imagine I'm 48. I can't imagine going to my mom and saying, man, look at the tits on that one. Can you?
No.
You know? It's bad enough every once in a while she catches wind of this show and is like, what's wrong with you?
Exactly.
You know, son?
But it's very real. All right, well, getting back to the article.
Yeah.
I love the idea of educating children about dating and relationships, she said, because usually such lessons are all about the mechanics and the STDs.
Mm-hmm.
But what about the heart and the body and the connection? It's part of life, and we don't really educate our kids about it. That leads to troubles, she said, seen through her clinical practice, she said, including teens getting into abusive and obsessive relationships.
Yeah, which has been going on since the fucking birth of time.
Yes.
And what? How exactly will you teach somebody not to obsess over somebody?
Right.
How do you teach that? What is the teaching skill? To not give a fuck? Would you ever say that with any relationship you've ever been in that you were obsessed with a chick?
I wasn't obsessed, but I do recall in my 20s, that was over 30 years ago.
Sure.
Being concerned about, well, where's she at, or who's she with, or what is she doing, blah, blah, blah. But once I realized, in my mid to late 20s, that you can't control the actions of others,
right?
Then I got to the point of where there's nothing I can do about that.
Okay, now play the string out. How did you discover that?
By discovering a girl that I was involved with who was basically being deceptive and lying to me about her whereabouts and what she was doing.
So in other words, you had to experience it to learn.
I did.
And what she's saying is you shouldn't have to experience it to learn.
It should be a learned thing. It's that you should be taught that. But the only way that...
You can't teach that.
You can't teach that. It's just like it's a life experience that teaches you that.
Mm-hmm. Just like if you want to go all the way through to the end of this, just like you can't really know, what you're into until you do something.
I agree.
You start off doing and take sex out of the picture for a minute. Let's say movies. Okay, there are some people. Do you like horror movies?
I do. I like some of them.
How do you know? How did you ever figure that out?
Well, you have to see it to begin with and say, I kind of dig that.
Yeah, and there's some people that will see it and be like, "Oh, fuck that, too scary, can't sleep." Right? So you learn from the experience. First time you got some pussy, did you like it?
Of course.
And therefore, you kept on getting it. Right.
Right.
And some people, they got some pussy, some guys got some pussy, they didn't like it. So they went the other way, and maybe they liked that. So then they stayed there, right?
Well,
that's what it should be. You learn from experience, not from a fucking classroom.
Right.
You learn math in a classroom. You don't learn how to live in a classroom.
You don't necessarily learn life skills or life experiences in a classroom.
Yeah, you learn how to fucking spell. You learn how to balance a checkbook, maybe. You don't learn how to judge people in a classroom. That's ridiculous. Anyway, go ahead.
Greenberg also calls out specifics tip that was included in the controversial assignment. If you think you're fat, keep it to yourself. And notes that it was going in a right direction. I don't like the way it was worded, but it would be wonderful for women to know that they don't need to talk about their weight.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to agree fully with her. It would be wonderful if women knew that they don't need to talk about their fucking weight. And stop asking us if you look fat in that fucking moo-moo, you cow.
Exactly.
No, because you know what? We don't give a fuck. If we're going out with you, assume we'll bang you. Fair?
I would agree with that, too.
If we're going to go out with you, whether you're fat, skinny, whatever, assume that we will stick our dick in you. Because otherwise we wouldn't go out with you.
You're probably right.
99% of the time that is a truism. On in a quote unquote dating scenario. Yeah, you can have, opposite sex friends that are just friends and you're not trying to fuck, but in the end, if you're going out on a date, you wouldn't mind if it ended with a fucking nut. Right?
I'm going to agree with you there too.
So this is again, she's right on this point. Guys don't want to hear it. If we're gonna get real, let's get real. Guys don't care. No guy gives a shit if you're wearing a fucking. I'll go a different route because I know you kind of care, but I'm gonna make this an exact point. Me and you are different on this. I am very comfortable with a chick that shows up in sweats and a t-shirt. I like that personally. I like real. I just like real. You like the girl that comes in the real tight dress with the fucking 12-inch heels and the stockings with the line up the back and all. You're into that.
12-inch heels, okay.
Whatever. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying, though,
yes,
right?
I do. I like a girl who gets dolled up. I will agree with that, yes.
Okay. Whichever side of that you are on, though, as a man, that excitement or that, hey, that was great of you to do what I like, that lasts about 10 seconds. Right?
I would prefer that. I would prefer that a majority of the time.
What I'm saying, though, is when she shows up, it's like, man, you look nice. And then after that, it's like, okay, well, let's go do our thing. You're done giving a shit about her dress, her clothes, her hair, whatever. You're done. You're not spending the whole date obsessing over, man. Look at how
well, I'll agree with the whole day thing. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool for the initial get together for literally minutes, and then you move past it.
Sure.
Then you move on to whatever you're gonna fucking do.
Yeah, but I guess you would consider it foreplay in some regard.
Sure. But even with foreplay, there's only so long you want her to suck your dick before you fucking want to put it in her.
Right. But that's what I'm saying is that the time that passes would be considered foreplay. So the whatever amount of minutes are involved with looking her over and seeing that she's dressed kind of the way that you like her, right? That would be in the foreplay area.
A chick talking to a guy about does she look fat? Do you like my clothes? All that shit. That is the exact equivalent to when a chick has made it clear that you're going to fuck that night, but you still have those kind of peck kisses before you start tonguing each other. Don't you think?
I look at the whole "do I look fat" thing as a trap.
Yeah.
I look at that as setting you up for, are you going to say something to offend me in some way, shape, or form? It's a test is what it is. They want to see if you'll pass the test and say the exact right thing that they want to hear. And if you don't say the exact same thing that they want to hear, then of course you don't love me.
Yeah.
That it's a test. It's to say, was this the right guy for me? Because I'm going to judge that by the way he answers my trap question.
Right. Exactly. That's exactly right. Yep.
So that's how it goes. So anyway, to finish up the story, Greenberg calls out a specific tip was included in the controversial assignment. If you think you're fat, keep it to yourself, and notes that it was going in the right direction. I don't like the way it was worded, but it would be wonderful for women to know that they don't need to talk about their weight. But in general, she said, the entire assignment was flawed, referring to, I don't like the way it was gender-based.
Shut up.
Gender-based.
Gender-based.
Tips for the boys in the now ditched assignment, meanwhile, included, don't feel entitled for a kiss or more, use good manners, be honest, don't drive recklessly, and don't exaggerate to your friends about what happened on the date, which honestly adds up to some pretty good advice for any gender, that is. So don't say that she fucked me like a wild stallion, which she really didn't.
Okay. Whatever.
So that basically what that boils down to.
Yeah. This lady needs to die.
Yeah. But the whole gender-based thing, either you're a guy or you're a chick.
Yeah.
There's no in between, or there's no deciding, oh, I'm this today or I'm not today.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. It's a societal mental fucking illness.
I agree.
It really is. If you can't fucking live with what you have, then you have a mental illness.
I would agree with that.
Makes me sick.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Yep.
Whoever came up with the idea, well, I'm not a girl today, or I'm not a guy today, or I can decide what I want to be today.
Yeah.
You can't just make it up in your mind that you're a guy today, or you're a woman today, or you're whatever. You just can't make that decision. You're born that way, and that's it. Period. Accept it.
I can guarantee you what side of the fucking aisle they vote on, though. And it sure ain't the right side.
Of course.
Fuck that.
That's just bizarre to me.
It is.
To where you get a choice in that.
Mm-hmm.
I was born this way, but that doesn't mean that I really am. Yeah. I don't want to be this way, so therefore I'm not.
Mm-hmm. Strong society you're going to be stuck with in 20 years when you got all these fucking fruits that are going to be the mid-level managers of the world.
Yeah, that's bizarre.
Fucking so weak they can't even fucking accept what they are, let alone what's going on with their job. It's going to be fucking horrible.
Strange.
Yep.
All right, well, let's get out of here.
All right, let's go.
There's some football tomorrow, I guess.
Yes, the Steelers and the Chiefs and who's the other game? I don't even know in the NFC.
The
Packers?
Yeah, the Packers and the Cowboys.
Packers and the Cowboys, right.
Now, what happened with the Patriots and the Texans tonight? Do you know?
Patriots whacked them.
Well, of course they did.
34-16.
All right. All right. Well, I'm going to cut up the show tomorrow, and I'm going to watch a little Steelers game, and that's about it.
Yeah, late start tomorrow. That's good.
Yeah, so I'll have time to fuck around with the show and do what I got to do. All right. We want to say thanks to our good friends Joel MacGyver of author Joel MacGyver. He's got a new book out called Black Sabbath. What is it called? The Evil what?
Where Evil Lurks.
Where Evil Lurks. You could go buy that out on Amazon or go buy that at Barnes & Noble. So if you're a Black Sabbath fan, go pick that up. Want to also thank our good friend Stephen Piercy, Where Rat Lives Matter.
Yep.
He's got a new CD coming out on Frontiers Records at the end of the month. It's called Smash. So look for that. And then, of course, we want to thank our good friend, The V, who's checked in after over a year away. And she's off doing some kind of dominatrix shit.
Yeah.
She's got nothing really to promote per se, but she just wanted to check in with the fans and let everybody know what she's up to.
Yeah, and thanks to Miss Cassie for checking in.
Yeah.
She was enthralling.
Yeah, she kind of sounded like a transgender. She did. She was very, very... what was that chick on Howard Stern that was the bodybuilder?
Not China. What was her name? Nicole Bass.
That's her. That's who she sounded like.
Oh.
She was kind of like that. I think she died, did she?
No, that's China that died.
No, I thought Nicole, something happened to her too. Okay.
Let me see. Did she die too?
I think so.
No, she's still alive.
Is she?
Yeah, she was born in 1964, but she's still alive.
All right, I thought something happened to her.
Nope, just China.
All right. Well, I'm going to get out of here with some XYZ.
All right.
I want to leave you with something from the Letter to God release. I'm going to leave you with some tango.
Nice. Good tune.
All right. I'm going to be out at NAMM next Saturday. Chris is going to take over with the Podcast Summit.
Yes, Podcast Summit for the first 2 hours, and then the last 4 hours will be myself, Joe Cleon, and John and Stephanie.
All right, so that should be fun, and I will call in from NAMM. I'll be out in L.A., so if you're in L.A. And you want to get a hold of me, just send a note to request at theclassicmetalshow.com. I'll check the email. If you're in the L.A. area, I'll be glad to hook up with you if you're in the Anaheim area, because I'll be out there Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Sweet.
All right, so if you want to treat me like a celebrity and a rock star that I am, I'll be out there to take some photos and say, hey, man, thanks for listening to the show.
Yeah, man. Let me give you your profile photo for Facebook.
Sure. Sure.
It's you with me, the fancy man.
Right. I'll be out there to hang out.
Right. Yes, Jackal, you're absolutely right. No docking next week.
Exactly.
It's going to be all heavy music.
Exactly. All right, I'll be in L.A. next week, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Chris will be hosting the show next Saturday and blah, blah, blah. So thanks for tuning in, being part of the show. We're going to get out of here. Going to leave you with some XYZ from Letter to God. So this is Neely along with my very good friend,
Chris Egan.
And we are gone.
Bye, kiddies.
Well. If you want to hear some good country music, you got the wrong station. This is Terry Lewis of the band Great White, and this is the Classic Metal Show. Hell and kill, Bubba. Yep. Yeehaw!